My name is James Williams Jr. As you know, I've been doing a case study on Hasbro toys, and we've done 5 phases or 6 phases. So I want to touch on the things that I've learned in doing this case study on Hasbro toys. So I'm going to touch on quite a few things. Okay, I'm actually going to touch on 5 things, which is quite a few for me because a lot of the things I didn't really understand. I winged it because I don't have a keen business sense. Alright, so first thing I'm going to touch on is the NASDAQ. Second thing I'm going to touch on is the business competition and the top 4 competitors that Hasbro has to contend with. Then I'm going to touch on Hasbro's promotions and commercials and the formula that they use to sell toys. Then I'm going to touch on the target market, and then I'm going to touch on self-gratification. They probably will all kind of come into the same thing, so I'm sorry if I sound repetitive. Okay, so first let's talk about the NASDAQ, shall we? The NASDAQ. The only thing that I really get out of what I've learned, which is absolutely nothing, but what I get out of it is that it is a big old-fashioned tracking system to track the money that the companies are making or that the companies are spending. And I guess that means if the shareholders or stockholders are investing or not investing and what the product is bringing in. That's pretty much all I got. That's pretty much all I know. I hope you guys understand that I do not have a keen business sense. Okay, so let's break into the business competition and the top 4 competitors. One of the top 4 competitors is Mattel. Mattel is mostly famous for doing Barbie and Ken and Polly Pocket. Alright? One of the second top business people that they have to compete with has been Toy Biz. Toy Biz used to have the old Marvel toy collection. I really don't know what else Toy Biz made because I only bought their Marvel superheroes collections of X-Men, Avengers, etc. Now, the third one that I want to go into, the third company that they have to compete with is Toy Biz. Toy Biz has mostly been known for their Star Trek action figures as well as their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures. So from the 80s and 90s, those 3 companies so far have been booming and running. The last tail end came in like the late 90s, like 95 to 99, still going strong today, is Todd McFarlane Toys. Excuse me, it's just known as McFarlane Toys. But McFarlane Toys are known for making video game characters into toys and comic book characters like from Action Comics, because his comic book also spawned his toy line, which is his comic book was known as Spawn. So for those who don't know anything about Spawn, Spawn is what helps pay for the McFarlane toy line. Alright? McFarlane also made those toys because he probably didn't want to deal with the companies in which I named, which would be Hasbro, Mattel, Toy Biz, or Playmates, which have been known for making the best action figures. Also, just on a side note, Matchbox Toys also made action figures. They did not sell very well, or they didn't have the durability that Hasbro Toys has. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the business and promotions and commercials and the formula that they use to sell toys. So as a kid, I used to watch these commercials, and I'm a G.I. Joe and Transformer fan, so that's what I'm basing this on. For the G.I. Joe commercials, they had kids playing with like tons of G.I. Joes, and the new G.I. Joes that would be coming out, like Dr. Mindbender or Sergeant Slaughter or something like that, would be at the forefront where, you know, they focus on that one toy. And Sergeant Slaughter even got his own theme song. William the Refrigerator Perry was an exclusive toy. He may have gotten 2 action figures where Sergeant Slaughter confirmed has at least 7 action figures with different uniforms for different sections of what he entered the show doing. Okay, and he entered the show in the middle 80s before the G.I. Joe toy movie came out, or the cartoon movie had came out, where he came in Arise Serpentor Arise, and then he stayed in for the movie, which also stars Burgess Meredith, the late great Penguin, and he promoted the toys in the commercials. He only did his own commercials with the company, where William Refrigerator Perry only had 1 animated commercial that I could find. Okay, the second toy commercials for promotion were Transformers, because Marvel had Transformers and G.I. Joe comics, and the comics made the toys as well, so they all had this big ass contract or whatever. And to promote the toys, Hasbro made commercials where the kids literally would be playing with the toys, and at the end of the commercial, because each commercial was like a minute and a half, they would morph into the Transformer in which they were promoting. which also happened before the Transformers cartoon original movie came out. Now, again, side note, Sergeant Slaughter had his own theme song, which they generally played with his commercials, which they also mixed with the cartoon to promote the cartoon and the commercial at the same time. Alright, so now we're going to go into the target market. The target market being kids, and kids at heart like myself, a collector of mostly G.I. Joe and Transformer toys. They sometimes use catchy tunes, but then mostly you are drawn in by their commercials, which is why I said these would run simultaneously. Because their commercials, as a kid, I would sit there and I would watch them, and I would see the toy, and I was like, I gotta get that. So the first Sergeant Slaughter came out. He came out with a tank. I never got that one, but I got the second Sergeant Slaughter that came out by himself, and I didn't get the Sergeant Slaughter that was exclusively for Sergeant Slaughter's Renegades, but I do have all three of the Renegades, and I got Sergeant Slaughter. Alright? Since he was a key player in the movie, he was like the key soldier running off the shelf. Him and the Renegades and Lieutenant Falcon, who was voiced by Don Johnson, the actor from Miami Vice. Okay. Finally, self-gratification. The self-gratification basically is the joy that having these toys in hand brought me as a child. As a child, I didn't have a lot of friends. I only had really two good friends, which was G.I. Joe and Kung Fu. Since I was really good at Kung Fu and no one really wanted to be around me, I had an escape known as G.I. Joe and Transformers. Now, Eddie Murphy made fun of G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip, which is why everybody always talks about G.I. Joe and his Kung Fu grip. But as time has gone on, I will say that the self-gratification of the old toys were much more fun than the new toys, because the old toys were made with more stronger stuff. The new toys aren't made with as strong stuff, but it's still great to look at. I have no intention of ever taking them out of the package. Here we have Native American Charlie Iron Knife, aka Spirit. And here we have an Asian ninja from Japan named Tommy Arashikage. But you can call him Storm Shadow. Now, Storm Shadow has been one of the people on G.I. Joe who has not been able to keep a side or a union. But by the end of the saga, when Hasbro and Marvel were together, Storm Shadow was a hero. But at the beginning, Storm Shadow started off as a bad guy. Not that this is a G.I. Joe report, but that being said, I thoroughly enjoyed learning my case study. I thoroughly enjoyed going through memory lane. And I thank you guys for listening to me. Damn it! 7 minutes and some change.